Girls of Reddit, what is the one thing about your significant other that you absolutely adore? He is the best human I've ever met. Hands down. He helps everyone. Whether it's just holding a door or spending hours on the phone with a friend who needs him. He's F-king hilarious but also knows when to be serious. He always listens. Even if he doesn't know what to say, you can tell he actually understands. He's so incredibly smart, but always is ready to learn more things. Whether it's about his interests or mine. Also he's hot, so that's nice too. He is really good to my mom. We sold our house, and got rid of almost everything we had to move in with my now 87-year-old mom 2 years ago, who at the time had mild dementia. He treats her like a queen. Brings home fresh flowers, her favorite foods, has driven her to annoying things like getting her taxes done, and hair and nail appointments. Before we moved in, they would have 2 to 3 hour long phone conversations that would make me jealous. Lol. Never mind he's super attractive. I'm biased, never mind he works his off. All I know is he loves my mom. And she can be super annoying sometimes. She can't help it, bless her heart. After her asking what day it is for the 43rd time. He answers her with respect. And is kind and funny to her. He's the it. He has been through some very dark stuff. Like losing most of his immediate family one after another to tragic circumstances. He has every right to be angry and bitter. Instead he chooses to be happy. Makes jokes. Plays the clown. He is a lot better prepared emotionally than I am if things ever go horribly wrong. I appreciate that strength. I don't want to be disrespectful. But people often use humor as a mask to hide their sadness and depression. Do talk to him and ask him how he feels. How he rambles on and on about car parts and other car things. He's a mechanic and a rally driver. And half the time I can't understand a word of it, but it's so cute when he gets all excited or tries to teach me useful stuff. I also like watching him drive. He listens. Actually listens. When I ramble on about my day. He listens. Asks questions. Laughs at the funny parts. And follows up the next day. He knows the names of the students who drive me crazy. Though he sometimes sides with the student. He's just the best listener I've ever met. Got it. Now know what to do. Shut my F-king mouth and let her speak. At this point, there's very little I don't love about my husband. Even his snoring. He recently went on vacation without me. We have a lot of animals, so we vacationed separately, and I couldn't sleep at all without his snoring. The one thing I love and have always loved since day one is his smell. He is a man of very few words and he's not naturally affectionate. But when he hugs me it smells like safety and comfort. Even after a long day at work I love the way he smells. His laugh. It fills me with pure happiness whenever I hear it. I can always tell how happy he is based on his laugh. When we first met he told me he didn't really like cats. Which was a bit of a bummer cause I'm a cat person. Even so, when we got our own place, he said absolutely my childhood cat goes with us. He wouldn't dream of separating us. We have since gotten 2 more and he's absolutely a cat person even if he still won't admit it. All 3 of them adore him. And he adores them right back. It's really heartwarming to see him pick up and cradle and coo the kitten. He so obviously adores her. He's worried that he's gonna be a bad dad whenever we get around to having children, but I'm completely confident he'll be amazing. There really is a loving, caring, soft-hearted, kind man under his gruff appearance. He stared at me while I was watching TV. When I looked over at him he just smiled even bigger till he gets the little crinkles at the corners of his eyes and told me he loved me. Naturally I am incredibly suspicious and still can't figure out what he's done wrong. Will update is found. When he sleeps, he will sleep talk about how much he loves me. You can ask him any question and he will answer honestly. He will pull me to him in the middle of the night. He always put me first and strives to be a better man for me even though he is already a wonderful man. We are LDR military and he always makes sure he tells me good night. Or calls me when he could get in trouble. He is the love of my life and I miss him. I never feel insecure with him. He is extremely reliable. He's never stood me up or bailed on me. He shows up to plans on time. He genuinely cares about my well-being. He is very kind, funny, smart. And he loves my cats. I love watching him do his hobbies, work on his passions. I'm a Jack Jill of all trades and he is a master of a few. Passions aren't really my thing, but it's something that amazes me when other people have it. He's creative and logical, so that's more than one thing. Whoops. When he gets really excited about something, he'll either send me huge blocks of text that take 5 minutes to read, or if we talk face to face he'll talk about cars, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, sports, whatever game he's playing at the time for nearly 30 minutes, barely pausing to breathe. Most of the time I can't get a word in, but it doesn't bother me any. And by the end of him talking he always says, "Sorry, I'm rambling again." Single quote. Every time I assure him that I love hearing him talk about things he's interested in. I may not understand some of it, but I still love hearing him get excited over his favorite things. Less than 3. No matter how long it's been since I've seen him, he is always excited to see me. His face lights up and he wraps himself around me until I tell him to let go. But even then he still whines about it. Plus he tells hilarious puns, even when I roll my eyes at him. His smile when he gets an earnest compliment, or when he squeals when he sees something cute. 8 years and I still find it completely adorable. How clingy he gets when he's tired me. I'm just going to get a drink, him, not allowed. Wraps himself around me. I am a man and I am single, so I don't know why I am reading this. 'Cause regardless of gender, being treated this way is really nice, and everyone hopes to have a partner that does these things, and know that not every person out there is a goblin waiting to claw your heart out. He's a total dork. We both admit this, but he can rap with Crazy Bone and DMX like the best of them. It's the cutest thing watching him act thug for 4 minutes. Before she leaves for work every morning she wakes me up so I acknowledge the kiss she gives me on my forehead. Love it to pieces. That is cute as FCK. Whenever my BF is going to class in the morning he comes up next to me, and whoever happens to be lower gets a kiss on the forehead and a hug, and I love it. Unfortunately I'm taller than him, so usually I'm the one giving the kisses, but that's great too. We can mess around without getting offended. We call each other some rude names that'd look terrible to outsiders, but it's all in good fun. We can also call each other bro without it being weird. When he comes up to me at random and hugs me saying, "Look at this small one that I just found," or "You are so small I just want to squeeze." He could have settled but did not. He grew up in a poor area in a trailer home, where people for generations grew up and never leave. He could have stayed. Got a job that's pays next to nothing. Stayed with his mega Christian ex-girlfriend. He did not. He found every scholarship he could. Applied for every loan. Worked full-time. And got his college degree. He left the town to start fresh and change everything. Now he has a house, a great job, a dog, and me, of course. He always brushes it off like it was nothing. But I can't imagine the strength it took to break free of the generational cycle. His brother continued the cycle though, despite the help offered. He is an amazing daddy. He's the majority stay-at-home parent and I'm the breadwinner, and he's killing it. He's so freaking sweet. When I first started hanging out in his room just as friends, we'd sit on his bed. And sometimes I'd fake gasp, faint, and fall backwards toward the floor. Of course, planning to catch myself. He'd always catch me. One time, he threw a pillow at me. I said, "Ow." And he immediately asked if I was okay. A pillow. He's just so freaking adorable. Gives the best hugs. Plays League with me even though he hates the game. Knows so much about things I don't. And is overall such a great person. I'd love to have a friend like him even if we weren't dating. But of course I prefer it this way. You just wish he'd let me pay more. Because I'm starting to feel really guilty about it. This is far more than one thing now. But he's so honest. He hasn't said, "I love you," yet. We haven't dated for long. Because he thinks it isn't like that yet. But he says, "You make me happy," and "You make me smile." It's nice to hear that. Because that's enough for now. And I'd rather hear a real assessment of how he feels than something fake and pretty. Also, when I'm busy with studying or RSOs, he's very supportive about me not having time to see him. But one week when we were both free, I saw him for hours every single day. And we'd just hug forever. I'd get up to leave. Because it was getting late. And he'd pull me back down. I'd get all the way to the door and open it. And he'd pull me back in and close the door. It's nice to know that you're wanted. Especially because we normally don't have much time to see each other. And I'm honestly a pretty insecure person. I just like pretty much everything about him and wish we weren't on lockdown. So I could see him again, happy crying face. He has been through some very painful situations in his life, but he is one of the finest people I've ever met. He's kind, smart, funny, heartfelt and generous, and kick-ass in bed. How he massages my back until I fall asleep. It is the one and only relaxing feeling in the world to me. God, I think it'd be easier to ask what I don't adore about him. I like how soft he is with me, if that makes sense. He holds my hand gently, rubs my arm, tells me I'm cute every couple of minutes. He makes me feel like a kitten. He takes care of me way more than he has to. He pushes me to better myself, in a good way. When he gets sleepy, he gets this cute little baby voice mixed with his accent, and then he cuddles into me, and it's the cutest thing ever. That and stolen, slow kisses. FCK. Now I really miss him. We're separate due to stay in place. He always makes sure I'm smiling and that I'm okay. He asks whether I have eaten breakfast. Most of the time I forget to eat because I'm so busy with school and stuff. He's on the basketball team and eats a lot more than I do. He has an amazing smile. He is lovely to me and my parents. He is also very kind to my grandmother. My grandmother is 99 and he is her favorite boyfriend of mine that she's met. When it was Valentine's Day, he got me a single red rose and Lindt chocolates. Whenever I am sad because of my toxic ex-friends, he comes over and we watch the Netflix shows we always watch together. We've been dating for nearly a year and I love him very much. We are born 4 months apart. He has just turned 16 and I'm turning 16 in 3 months. It's exciting for the both of us, as we're graduating high school late next year. Just him in general. I just absolutely love all of what he is. Are there the small flaws we all have? Yeah. No one is perfect or everything would be boring. But the way he smiles, the way he gets embarrassed, the way he looks down and pouts when he doesn't want to admit something, the times he's always thinking about my feelings and thoughts about things rather they are important in the matter or not, or how he will burst into a laugh and try to hold it in when I make a funny comment in a super serious moment. He's so respectful towards everyone and I absolutely love my darling. He's everything and so much more I could have ever dreamed for. I'm F King, single and sad.